Mike, we want to thank you again on the behalf of all of our members at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Festival Association, AutoZone, the Memphis community, your players, represented not just your university, but our community in a first-class manner in every way possible. And it has been a real pleasure for us to have you and your football team at the 59th AutoZone Liberty Bowl. So thank you again for that, Mike.
Thank you.
And with that, your opening comments, and then we'll take questions.
Well, just once again, we were so very honored to be a part of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. It was a great game. Congratulations to Coach Campbell and the Iowa State football team. It was a hard fought contest, and when it went back and forth and came down just to a few plays, which pretty much what we expected coming into it. But really proud of our guys. Proud of the way that they've always worked and tried to respond to every situation. But today we just came up a little short, and I know it's difficult, but definitely proud of our guys for the way that they fought through.
We have a mic we'll pass for questions. If you'll raise your hand and identify yourself as well prior to asking your question.
Greg Gaston, Sports 56 Radio, Memphis. Mike, they were getting a lot of pressure on you guys with 3-men rush. They would drop 8 back. What did that do with your offensive scheme, knowing that there were that many guys that were dropped back in the secondary to go up against the passing game?
Well, it adds some challenges and in tighter windows to throw. We weren't able to establish the run today, and that's something that other than the one drive, that really kind of hindered our tempo and just the rhythm that we were trying to get into offensively. And then when you're trying to throw against guys that are dropping 8, it definitely makes some challenges. And so they've got a great scheme. You've got some really good football players that they run with it. And so we knew it was going to be difficult. It's one of the best defenses in the country. It's one that played well, especially the second half of the season. Pretty much against every offense that they've gone against. And so we knew it was going to be a challenge. I just was hopeful we'd execute a little better.
Question in the front, Randy, right here.
Mark Giannotto, the Commercial Appeal. Gennard, the roughing the passer penalty that they called on you, did you agree with it? What happened on that play?
I was just playing my to play out, man. I feel like it was a bad call, but at the end, man, they got this W.
Next question.
Terry Davis, Tri-State defender. Coach, you allowed 6 sacks this game. This is nothing. What happened that allowed it 6 seconds? Because you only gave up 15 coming into this game.
Yeah, like I said, because of lack of the run game being established, I think that it let them tee off on us a little bit. They were able to get to us with a couple of games up front, and and the guys, they played well, and something that. There's a lot of things that showed up today that were uncustomary of what our offense has been throughout this season. But when you play against a good defense, sometimes they force you into that. But we just like I said, we didn't play as well as necessary to be able to win the game, and that was one of the big determining factors.
You're in the third row.
So Isaac Simpson, TigerSportsReport.com. How much did not having Darrell Henderson today hinder your offense?
We've got a great group of backs. It definitely tested our depth. We weren't able to rotate as much. Patrick and Tony pretty much played the entire game, which is a challenge in its own regard, especially with what they do special teams wise. But Darrell's a great back. He's a 1,000-yard back this season. Not having him today, it definitely affected us in some sorts. But we've got really good players that we're able to jump in and fill in for him too.
Steve McGargy, Associated Press. For Riley, after you got that last drive, after you got the ball down to the 40, just how confident were you at that point after that 4th down conversion, and what happened those last 4 plays that prevented you from getting any further?
They ran a couple schemes. that were a little different. So it was kind of hard, get the ball out. But at the same time, we had to find a way to make a play. There on the last play, I have to find a way to make that throw to Phil. No matter if I have pressure in my face or not, I just have to find a way to make that throw.
Looking back on your time here at Memphis, not what you want for an ending, but the development of this offense and your development. Could you describe that?
Yeah, it's been a heck of a 2 years. I've been truly blessed to be the quarterback here at the University of Memphis. I wouldn't change anything. I love my brothers, my coaches, everybody that's involved in this program. It's truly a special place, and man, it's not the way we wanted to end it, but I love every single one of the people that's involved in this, no matter what.
Coach, I know you've spoken to it before, but the seniors that you've had on this team, and now this is the final game with them. Can you just speak to what they've meant for your program?
They've been great. I mean, when you look at the 21 guys that just played their last game as a Memphis Tiger, they've definitely left their mark, and obviously have changed the expectations, and really set a new standard for what it is to be a Memphis Tiger football player. And I'm extremely honored for the opportunity to have coached them. Some guys that have been here for 4 years, like Jannard, others that have been here for 2, like Riley, John Cook. I mean, those, the cohesiveness of our team and how they've all come together, through a change, and to continue to progress with our program. I think the brightest days are ahead because of these guys and and the kind of the foundation that they've laid, and what we're going to be able to continue to build upon.
Riley, will you think about? I mean, there's the Mayhew touchdown in the first half that gets reversed by a penalty. A couple other plays that like Jannard's penalty ends up costing you guys an interception. How much will you think about stuff like that over the next 24 hours? The kind of the small little breaks that didn't go your guys' way.
I mean, you're definitely going to think about it when it comes to stuff like that. But at the end of the day, the refs are the ones who are in control of making the calls, and you have to play the game. You have to continue to keep playing, and that's what we did. We just happened to come up short. You have to, tip your hat to Iowa State. They're a great team.
Jannard, this is for you. 4 years, they've been good. Can you speak to that and what these 4 years meant to you?
It's been a great experience. Wins and losses coming down a dozen, but man, I just want to say I love this program, Memphis, and I had a great experience here.
Coach, the first drive of the game, Iowa State just moved the ball down there easily on you and scored 7 points. From that point forward, you only gave up 14 points. What adjustments did you make after that first drive?
That really, I thought in the first half, we were doing a really good job on the base downs, first and second down. We kind of in that first drive, they had a couple third down conversions. The touchdown was a 3rd and long. We have to do a better job of getting off the field in some of those situations. But it wasn't just a massive adjustment that was going into it. I mean, they're a good football team, and sometimes when you put good football players out there on the field, they're going to make plays. And our guys were able to do a lot of the same things, and that's why it came down to the very end. It was a 1-point game, and I tell you, both sides battled, and I got a lot of respect for the team that we just played against in Iowa State for how they play the game. I got a ton of respect for our kids and the way that they continued to progress, as players and as young men. So, there weren't any just monumental adjustments, but our guys just continued to battle.
Mike, you mentioned the standard this group set. How do you keep it rolling here going into the offseason? How do you keep the momentum that this program has really developed?
Yeah, I think all the pieces are in place to continue to grow. And, I think the the commitment from our university, the commitment from the young men that are within our football team, it's one of the highest standard. And we're going to continue to grow. We have to learn from experiences. There are a lot of things that happened on that field today that Riley, Jannard, the senior class that's leaving, that they're going to be able to build upon, in their future opportunities. But as our, like I told the kids after the game, I mean, we have got to continue to grow and build upon some of the things that have happened to us throughout this season. The highs, the lows. I mean, that's all part of a year. And I can tell you that these kids are going to be hungry to continue to improve. And we've got a great foundation for what we can build upon here in the future.
Riley, can you speak to the job they did kind of limiting Miller to not his usual day?
Yeah, I think they were trying to, double cover him. They were like when he was into the boundary, they were trying to play cover 2 and have a safety over top. So I think that was part of their game plan. And then when he was to the field, they had the other safety hung over top of him. So I definitely think that was part of their game plan.
Second part to Jannard, yeah, you had that 6'5" tree that they kept throwing to. How frustrating was it to try and get bodies on him when he's got all that size?
At the end of the day, it's just executing the play. And, he made his plays and we made ours. And that's that.
One more we're going to go to Don.
Anthony Robinson with WeDon'tBluff.net.
Sorry, Katie.
Anthony Robinson with WeDon'tBluff.net. Other than maybe a couple of passes that didn't connect as far as completions, would you have done anything different looking back on it now?
Well, I think you always reflect back to different situations and calls, and obviously we'd like to execute a little bit better, but I think at the end of the day, that's something that we knew how we wanted to try to attack them, and we had a pretty good sense of what they were going to try to do. You get a month between the end of the season to the bowl game. There's a few new wrinkles that they were able to bring into the plan, but I think, like I said, they did a nice job, and we didn't make the plays that were necessary to be able to win the game. But I think everybody's going to reflect back to that, coaches, players, everybody involved, and definitely got to build upon that in the future and our future experiences.
Yeah, Riley, could you just speak to what you guys accomplished after the first time down at Central Florida?
You talking about just the second time we went down there for the championship? Yeah, I mean, I think that was probably one of the better things that could have happened to us. It just showed us that we still had a lot of work to do, and we had to continue to progress every single day, and that's what we've done. Coaches, he's asked a lot of us, but we've come to work every day and tried to get better, and I think that's something that's special about this football team.
All right, thank you, guys. We have 2 presentations to make. The first is the offensive player of the game. That's to you, Riley, and to make that presentation is John Acosta from Bass Pro Shops. John, if you'll step forward. Riley, if you'll step down for that presentation.